covering 5 days of different, or the last 4 days of hormones and the different hormones that are impacted in women in general that are big players in our lives and in our kind of perimenopause, menopause journey, but also the fertility journey. And the roles that they have, where they're all very interconnected. Hormones our hormones are constantly changing and in motion, and they're all impacted by one another. So we talk about this thing called the hormone symphony. And things that you'll hear conventionally are that hormones are really hard to test. And so it's not worth it. Other than thyroid, the thyroid is very conventionally tested, but that hormones are hard to test, and so it doesn't really have a job or a role. And that one is a myth that we want to break down, and that we think that hormone testing is definitely not perfect. But when the person interpreting the labs has information about where the person was in the cycle and their symptoms, it can really help to give some information about where a patient is and their journey in their hormone, as their hormones are shifting as we age. We also talked about that progesterone is sort of the underused hormone. That's the thing that women often need starting in their 40s or even earlier for some women, depending on the stresses that are happening in their lives or what they're trying to accomplish or achieve, especially like around fertility. So people who have luteal phase defects, we talked about progesterone being really effective. We also talked about that progesterone can really decline in a higher stress woman. And these stresses aren't just like the stress that a woman, if she seems stressed or not, these stresses go back to early childhood events. These stresses go back to things that are out of the woman's control and things that she's managing, and just kind of the life that we're up against, the community and societal stress. So it sort of sets us up for cortisol dysregulation and luteal phase defects. Progesterone also impacts thyroid. So many women will have thyroid related changes in their fertility journey or after having babies or during perimenopause and menopause. The thyroid is a really sensitive tissue, and it's incredibly important for all of our baseline metabolism. Very hard to get pregnant if your thyroid's not regulated. Very hard to have weight loss if your thyroid's not regulated or have like good, great human function. So that was part of the deal there. So nourishing adrenals, thyroid and adrenals, which sit on the kidneys that are responsible for cortisol and our stress hormones, is a really important part of the hormone symphony. We talked about estrogen. Estrogen is a very complicated hormone in the way that it works. We have 3 types of estrogens that work in our body. They're all detoxed different ways. We were alluding to the ways that people detox differently. And if they're a slow estrogen detoxer, those women can end up being estrogen dominant in their life and have things like endometriosis, thick, heavy periods, hard periods, bleeding issues, breast issues, fertility problems. We also talked about women who detox estrogen towards testosterone, which can end up creating things like PCOS, insulin resistance, glucose issues. We didn't quite talk about the insulin resistant, but that's what's happening. And then we talked about women who's just in general are poor detoxers, people who were sensitive to hormones all their lives. They were the people who couldn't take birth control very easily, who, if any, they're very sensitive to hormone dysregulation. And one of the ways that we can help prevent those hard symptoms are through hormone detox. So there's many ways that we can assess a person's detoxification. One is understanding their genetics. And you know us around here, we're really big on genetic tests. If you're listening to this and you haven't had your genetic test done, ping our group. It's not for the information you glean from it. It is a very affordable test and something that we think everybody should understand in 2024. Like, what are my genes? Let's stop guessing and let's just learn some things about you specifically biochemically. It lets us know a lot about your estrogen detox. And then we can also learn from urine testing about your detox pathways. And that is something that we will be talking about in November in our community and our collective, because we believe strongly here that for the right women, and most women are the right women, that hormone replacement therapy should be a big part of your life, and that you don't have to wait until you're in menopause to use hormones for good. So if you're in a fertility journey where you're not having a lot of impact, you might need hormone help. To, if you're under serious stressful conditions, and your periods have paused or stopped, or you're having issues or just major fatigue, that hormones could be at the bottom of that. And then 3, when you're going through normal aging processes, and the ovaries are slowing down through your 40s and into your 50s, that hormone replacement therapy is a massive part of your future life for maintaining health of your tissues, your brain, your bones, your heart, and maintaining emotional regulation, vaginal health, sexual health, and estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Thyroid and cortisol as well are all the hormones that we're working with through aging. DHEA is a hormone as well we didn't talk about, so we'll talk about a bit about that during the detox. So what we're really excited to share with the community is starting in October 21st, that we will be really working with women in their detox pathways, talking about ways to increase estrogen naturally and help estrogen detoxification. There are herbs, there are supplements that are very helpful with that we want to help teach, and foods. The big part is food, coming back to food. When you work in a detox program, these programs are very gentle and mild, but it's kind of looking at our daily choices. What are things we can weave in? What are teas we can weave in? What are ways that we can optimize the way that we eat or drink things? Minimizing sugar, learning some recipes that are easy, that feel nourishing and nurturing, that are really hormone balancing. It's we can't emphasize enough that, like, just taking hormone replacement therapy and not understanding your detox pathways, it's just setting you up for potentially some downstream issues that we could totally mitigate if you understand how to detox things well. Um, we love using physical medicine therapies. So hot and cold. I mean, you can't go anywhere now without hearing about cold plunging and sauna, which is amazing. These are longstanding naturopathic therapeutics that we've been using in our detoxes from long ago. So using these things to help regulate your hormones, using some physical medicine packs like castor oil packs, and some second chakra work that we do to help hormones clear, are things that we'll be teaching. Exercise, should you do heavy exercise? Should you do light exercise? That those will be covering in the detox really clearly, so you can get a sense for, if you're estrogen dominant, if you're testosterone dominant, what you should be doing for exercise. If your cortisol is really high, what you should be doing for exercise if your cortisol is really low. So you'll get a sense for some of these things and ways to troubleshoot at home these hormone issues that often come up for women. And we want to know, we want you to have these tools so that if you're having really bad PMS, or if you skipped 3 periods and you're just not feeling really well, like, what are the tools that you come back to help kind of get your hormones back on target and regulated and feeling really good for you and your body. We love using herbs and herbal friends as part of our detox. So we'll be going through different teas that we usually have one strong detox tea. This time we're going to present a couple different teas that people can drink depending on what symptoms they have and what's going on or where they are in their cycle. So it'll be a very informative, fun, supportive situation. It's not scary or hard. It is impactful in the way that, like, it makes us kind of look at what are truly our habits. I have a lot of times when patients say to me, well, I have a really good diet. And then we kind of break through it and we find out that her really good diet, it's true, it's good, but she's not eating enough food. Or her really good diet, it's good, she's just sabotaging it a little bit with alcohol or too much sugar. Or her really good diet was really good for her in her 30s, but it's not optimal for her as she just is turning 50. So there's just a lot of things to learn along our journey, with diet, with herbs, with supplements, and that's what we're here to do in the detox. So many of you watching here today, I'm so excited you've been here with us. You are part of the collective, our collective, and you will be on our detox with us. If not, make sure you sign up here. You want to sign up. We're going to start loading you with information starting on probably in about 10 to 15 days, getting you all set up so that by the 21st, you know exactly what's happening. So signing up early is good for you. Share with a friend. It's so much more fun if you're doing it in community. We will be creating community, but even if you have a bestie doing it with you, it's fun to include them in the mission. So cheers to a beautiful lifelong of hormone balancing and having hormones support us on our journey and have us feeling our very best. And so that we can do all the things we want to do into our 70s, 80s, 90s, and that we feel strong, we feel supported, we feel resourced, and that we feel that hormones are our friends and not our enemies or something that's working against us, that these things are helping support us into our life. So happy Saturday. Enjoy your day out there. We hope to see you soon in the upcoming detox. And thanks for being here. Bye.